But now I'm going to go into the struggles of starting a podcast, the realities, the deep, dark side. Well, it's not that deep to be fair, but it is real. It is real. I think it's worth knowing this part. Okay, number one. What should I start with? Number one. Okay, it can be quite time consuming. Like I remember during lockdown, because it was lockdown, nothing else to really do. I could spend hours on it, putting on the website, planning, doing the survey, creating the channels. It was alright. It was fine. It was good. It was good fun. I liked it, but it was a lot of time. And I think when lockdown was happening, it was fine. I could do it. But then things started open up during autumn, during winter and stuff like that. Kind of, things were calming down, I guess. And work was getting busy again, picking up. It started to get quite heavy in terms of the workload. Because think about it this way, you're not just like the initial stuff putting the website was long already, but trying to do it every week or every 2 weeks, it's like recording the episode, then you put the whole files onto the video editor because it's a video one, so there's more work, and then you go edit your audio from the recorder, and you gotta make sure it's in sync. Sometimes the video can be delayed, and then you got kind of like syncing everything. It could be long, and then not only that, you've got to create snippets for the YouTube and Instagram shorter content, the description of what you covered, the thumbnails, the previews, and then also the rendering, uploading takes time. It just doesn't happen instantly. And then killing the audio, the audio from the recorder and syncing it to the audio of the video. It could be a lot, especially sometimes when you get technical glitches on the day, and that can be a bit difficult as well because it is a lot of different operational stuff happening, a lot of different softwares as well. So that stuff, it's time consuming, it's hard, and I see why people struggle when doing anything as a voluntary side project, because it's a lot of time and work can get in the way, and like life can get in the way, and if you're not in the right headspace, you can't really do it, and it could become very draining mentally and physically, and because you're not spending that time on yourself. It's spare time, right? You're still working your full-time job and all that kind of stuff, so you don't really have the real capacity to do it. It's not your day job, if you get what I mean. It's like a side thing. So I think you got to really respect and appreciate content creators doing something on the side alongside everything else that they're managing: work, health, family, life, finances, everything. So it's helped me to really get that appreciation, but also, because if you notice as well, sometimes you see people that do voluntary stuff like career support. They have like a few months, they've got a lot of energy, doing a lot of work, and then they kind of wither out, right? And you might have seen that with me a bit. Started trying to do weekly episodes, then fortnightly, then they kind of spread out a bit more. And that's because it got tiring. Not tiring, but it just got a lot of work. I also need to focus on myself, my headspace, my development, all that kind of stuff. So that's one. Was that number one or was that number two? Number one, that was one big picture. Time consuming and it being voluntary. There's that as well. If you're funded and stuff like that, it's probably a lot easier because it's your day thing, right? You do it. But if it's like your additional thing, then it's a much greater struggle. And respect to those that do it. And stick to it as well for a long period of time and building the audience. Okay, so number two, there's a lot of short form content, shallow content out there that you're competing with. For example, I could put a deep video on Instagram or on TikTok or on Twitter or whatever. But then you'll find like someone's posted some random comedy and it's got like hundreds of thousands of retweets, whereas yours got none. It's like, what? Like, I'm trying to do that. This ain't really beneficial, and like some really like good content that is like, if you listen to it, there's a lot of substance there, but you find on the platforms a lot of stuff that has no substance is valued more. And people that post that stuff get the followers, get the engagement, and it reinforces more of that stuff. That's probably why you don't see scholars and teachers out there, because they don't get the attention that they should. And I find that struggle as well. Like, it's just like, I'm trying to get this good stuff out there, but I'm in a world where there's a lot of not so great stuff out there, and people prefer that over this, which is something I'm trying to like always manage it and trying to deal with and trying to adapt to, but it's a thing, it's a challenge, which goes number three nicely. People prefer short form content, which is, I get it, it's good. You can use it as a gateway. But if you really want to learn, if you really want to go far, if you really want to actually grasp something, a 1 minute video isn't going to give it to you. You know, you can see things from the surface, but Allah's given us intellect and aql, and that's insight. You don't just look at things from the surface, you build the depth, you look at things for what they really are. And that's like one thing I'm always trying to like play around with. Like, I want to do the short form content, but to get people to look at it, but then also don't want to reinforce that culture of just having short form, shorthand content. People need to really look at what matters, you know, and that's like the long form. If you want to become an expert, if you want to grow, if you want to develop, you can't just read one page and that's it. You got to really go into things, listen to conversations, listen to the body language, or like feel the body language and get insight into that, and that will serve you a lot better. And I feel like, yes, that's like a struggle, and being in on platforms that just, you know, prioritize short form, light touch, shadow stuff, and then try to bring in the deep stuff alongside that. So that's been the number 3. Number four. So I have changed jobs for the last 6 months. So I was an A-talent manager at GDS. I'm now a people engagement manager in HMRC. Don't worry, I'm not going to find you and get you to pay your taxes. It's not about that life. But headspace is important. One of the struggles that I've had when I was in that other role, I was engaged, I liked it, I was doing something I was really passionate about, and every day was good. So when it came to the podcast, I was motivated, I was really positive. So I found, even though I was really busy, I had the energy because I was in a positive state to do the recordings and all that work that I just mentioned. And this role is not as good, I'll be honest. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not as good. I'm not as passionate about it. So it's taking a hit on my headspace. That's probably why I've seen less episodes over the last 6 months, a lot less episodes. And we need to take a break because I've not been in that headspace, right? Just not been there. And that's because of that, the change of job. Ideally, you know, I'd like to get back to talent. Don't know when that will happen, if it will happen, but headspace is important because if you're in the right headspace, you can thrive, you can bring out the good content, you can bring out the best version of yourself. If you're not, then, you know, it's challenging. Let's just say that it's challenging. So that's challenge number 4. What's challenge number 5? I mentioned, challenge number 5 is doing things for free, but not that I would charge for the podcast, but it's just saying that people that do it for a living and get income and get funding, they can give you more value. People that do it for free, again, it's based on the energy and time they have, right? They're limited. They can't give you as much. Which is why I'm thinking about, because I've done my coaching qualification, I'm thinking about how can I combine that with the A-Talent podcast stuff that I'm doing and create a coaching program that I can charge for. And then as if I do that, I can also use it to fund and spend more time on stuff like this, stuff that I kind of really, really enjoy doing it and giving back with. Because yeah, you can get more value back when you're being funded or when you're getting some sort of payment. So there's that as well. Yeah. And okay, that's 5. Number 6, and I think I'll conclude there. I think again, it goes back to the point I mentioned before, but people liking more shallow content. I mean, humans are hard to understand. That's my point. You can give them the most beneficial thing out there for them, but they still won't engage. I mean, on Twitter, it's very hard. People don't really engage with you. I don't know why. I think it's feel like it's just like your own echo chamber and you just talk to yourself or like your own circle and you don't really engage with others. It's not really that social. But my point is more when I did the campaign for subscribers, literally every person that subscribes, £1 will be donated on their name to a charity. That's a win-win. That's the easiest sadaqah you can give, right? But barely any people subscribed. And it was promoted like more than usual on different channels. So people, more than 30 people would have seen it. But I couldn't get why. I mean, you've got like stuff that's really shallow, very shallow stuff that gets promoted straight away. No benefit, nothing. But this was like an amazing opportunity, but it wasn't there. And I think I struggled to understand what the psychology was behind the minds that saw that and thought, nah, or just didn't engage. I feel that maybe partly it's because content just comes and goes and the algorithm doesn't favor me. But it was just like thinking about from that perspective, like, wow, man, like, you know, I'm doing this, all this stuff, but nobody's engaging. Why is that? This something really beneficial, really good, but not many people were engaging with it. Which, yeah, I still try to get my head around. I can't really understand. Like, what do people want to get from this stuff, right? Something, an amazing opportunity like that, you're not taken, then what can you really do? And maybe it's the platforms again, like there's just like your attention is gone straight away, so you can't really focus on it. So that was one of the things that was a bit of a pain point. I'm trying to like get my head on understanding what was it behind it. And okay, got number 7. Growing to number 7, growing your channel and getting more subscribers and content. And I think I feel a bit challenged because it's so many different platforms. And trying to find your target audience and trying to build your subscriber account. I think to be fair, I'm content with where I am. I'm not too fussed about followers and subscribers as long as I'm helping people, which I have done, and people have given that feedback. But yeah, it can be a bit of a challenge trying to like get subscribers to something that's, again, meaningful content with substance, right? But people don't really engage with it for whatever reason. Maybe I don't have the clout. Maybe it's because I don't have the wealth or the material, or maybe I should flaunt it more. So people actually think, yeah, this guy's successful because he's got material or he's got a lot of followers. Because people give validation to people that have followers and that have wealth and money, all that kind of stuff, which isn't the right way to go about things. And which is why I think scholars and teachers don't get as much attention on these platforms as they should, because they're the ones that give more value. But again, this is where do people find value? I don't know. But yeah, those are the 7 struggles. And I thought, let me just share it because, I might come across as things being easy, things being straightforward, but there is a lot of struggle behind the scenes and a lot of work and effort that goes in. And this is just me doing this. I imagine other content creators feel the same or have more and more challenges. But as you see, I thought, let me share that, give you a bit of insight into what it's like on this end of the struggling end. So, you might develop appreciation for other content creators and actually understand what goes behind this sort of work. And also going to give you like a reality check as well. If you start something, don't expect success straight away. It's a test of patience and persistence. So I admire those that are doing stuff voluntarily for a long time and building their community. Inshallah, I can follow that path. We'll see. I mean, I plan one thing and things change instantly. So Allah knows best. So yeah, those are the struggles of the podcast. Now, the third segment 3.